Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has paused everything around you to deliver this moment into your spirit. This is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random interruption in your scrolling. It is divine orchestration. You are standing before a threshold, and what you decide now will echo in eternity. Do not take this lightly. Do not play with this message. This is too serious. You have always known deep within that you are not like the rest. The conversations that used to excite others never fully satisfied you. The pleasures that distracted many never filled the ache in your soul. And though you tried to blend in, your spirit kept pulling you aside. That is because you are chosen. You are set apart. Heaven has marked you. Every scar you carry, every lonely night you endured, every prayer whispered in silence, it all matters. None of it was wasted. The world may have overlooked you, but heaven never turned away. What others dismissed, God counted. What others mocked, God preserved. Chosen one, you have felt misunderstood because you carry a light that terrifies darkness. The reason some people pulled away, the reason doors closed, the reason certain atmospheres became heavy when you entered it was not rejection, it was recognition. Darkness recognized your light before you fully recognized it yourself. Stop doubting. Stop questioning whether you matter. Stop asking if God truly has a purpose for you. Listen. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That word was not written for the world. It was written for you in this exact moment. You are standing in a spiritual emergency. You cannot delay anymore. Every time you procrastinate obedience, you allow the enemy to tighten chains that were already cracking. Every time you tell yourself, tomorrow, you push back the very breakthrough you've been begging for. Chosen one, don't do it, no matter the price. Don't compromise. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. Do you realize what's at stake? One more step into distraction, and blindness could settle in. One more agreement with compromise and mercy could step back. This is why your spirit feels restless, because heaven is pulling you away from destruction and into destiny. Beloved, you are a warrior who has not yet seen the battlefield in full. Your trials have only been training. That anxiety you fought through, that depression you survived, those betrayals you endured, every one of them was shaping you into a vessel that darkness cannot overthrow. You are stronger than you know, because the strength inside you is not your own. You carry the breath of the Almighty. You carry authority written in eternity. That is why storms could not drown you, why fire could not consume you, why despair could not keep you locked away. You are still here because purpose preserved you. And now, this message is the trumpet. This is the moment heaven shakes you awake and says, rise. Chosen one, you can no longer sleep through destiny. There is an urgency on this word. You cannot sit back casually. You cannot treat this like another video, another voice, another fleeting piece of content. This is your summons. This is your confirmation. This is your sign. Chosen one, pay attention. The crown is already reserved for you. But the path requires your yes. Not your half-hearted yes. Not your someday yes. But your now yes. Heaven does not wait forever. And so I charge you, beloved, if this word burns in your spirit, If your heart knows that this is for you, then do not hesitate. Step fully into agreement. Type below, as a prophetic act, the number 777, the mark of completion, the sign that you are sealing this message over your life. This is not superstition, it is alignment. It is a declaration to the seen and the unseen realms that you choose destiny over delay, crown over compromise, obedience over rebellion. And as you do, don't walk away silently. This word is meant to flow, not to stop at you. Share it. Let someone else hear what heaven is speaking. Someone near you is standing at the same edge you were, and your obedience to share could be their rescue. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this stream of anointing is not a one-time drop. It is a river, and you will need to keep drinking as the days ahead unfold. This family of chosen ones is rising together, and your voice belongs here. You are not ordinary. You are chosen, and the time is now. Chosen one. Your wounds have been louder than your words. Your silence has carried weight that many could not see. But heaven has recorded every moment. The sleepless nights when your pillow was wet with tears. The mornings when you dragged yourself forward despite emptiness in your chest. None of it was overlooked. You thought you were forgotten, but you were only hidden. You thought the delay meant denial, but the delay was divine preparation. Your scars are not shame, they are signatures of survival. You are not weak because you carry them, you are strong because you did not let them destroy you. Every wound tells a story of endurance. Every unanswered question testifies of trust you could not even articulate. And while others walked past, while people misread your silence as indifference, the Father leaned close. Chosen one, heaven has never ignored you, even in your loneliest hour. Angelstut, Gart, even when you cried. Where are you, Lord? The truth is that he was nearer than your own breath. But the wounds you carry are not random, they are purposeful. They are the evidence of separation, the reminder that you were never meant to blend in with the rest. You must understand something crucial. Waiting seasons are not wasted seasons. Waiting stretches the vessel, so that when the blessing finally arrives, it does not crush you. Waiting purifie désir, so that when destiny unfolds, you do not mistake it for personal ambition. Waiting matures your spirit, so that when authority is placed in your hand, you wield it with wisdom instead of pride. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 29, Verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper, not harm. Plans to give you hope and a future. That word is not generic. It is a letter written to your soul. Even in your pain, even in your waiting, heaven's handwriting has not wavered. Chosen one, your wounds are a compass. They point you back to the place of calling. Do not despise the pain that made you kneel. It was on your knees that you became unbreakable. Do not curse the isolation that emptied your calendar. It was in the silence that heaven's whispers grew louder. Do not regret the betrayals that tore you apart. They pushed you out of places you were never meant to remain. You are not behind schedule. You are right where you must be. Delay is not denial, it is design. God is weaving a story so intricate that every strand of your suffering will eventually reveal a masterpiece. And when you look back, you will see that not a single moment was wasted. Chosen one, the waiting has been long, yes, at times unbearable, at times confusing. But understand, what you call delay, heaven calls preservation. God preserved you from entering too soon. He preserved you from trusting the wrong voices. He preserved you from walking through doors that looked like opportunities but were actually traps. Your waiting has been your shield. Your pain has been your tutor. Your scars have been your crown in the making. And now, even though you feel weary, you are closer than you realize. Every test, every rejection, every quiet ache has been moving you forward to the unveiling. The world has not seen the full you yet, because God has been covering you until the appointed time, just as a seed must remain buried in darkness before it bursts into light. So, have you been hidden? But the soil is breaking. The season of emergence approaches. Chosen one. Listen. You have been asking, why me? But soon you will declare, it had to be me. You will understand why your journey could not mirror anyone else's. You will see why you carried weights others never had to bear. And when you stand in the fullness of your calling, the scars will no longer sting. They will shine as proof that destiny was worth every wound. Do not rush this moment. Even now, as you wait, heaven is aligning things you cannot yet see. Relationships are shifting. Opportunities are forming. Spiritual doors are unlocking. Your task is not to force your way, but to remain faithful where you are. Your faithfulness in obscurity is building the foundation for your influence in visibility. Chosen one. Let your scars speak. They say, I have survived what tried to kill me. They say, I am stronger than my history. They say, what the enemy meant for evil, God is turning for good. You are not defined by your wounds, you are refined by them. And so you stand, still waiting, still hoping, still aching. But do not despise the process. Every delay is divine. Every scar is sacred. Every moment is preparing you for the unveiling. Beloved, you are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. And though the waiting lingers, the fulfillment is closer than you think. Chosen one. You feel it right now. The pull, the weight, the trembling urgency in your spirit. Something is shifting. This is not just another word. This is the alarm of heaven sounding over your life. You have reached a turning point. One more step in the wrong direction could alter your course. And one step in obedience could open the gates of destiny. That is why this moment feels heavy. It is not just heavy, it is holy. You have been sensing it in your dreams, in your restlessness, in the way ordinary things no longer satisfy you. You wake up at night with a strange unease. You notice signs around you that others dismiss. You feel drawn into silence that others cannot understand. Do you know what that is? It is a spiritual emergency. It is heaven refusing to let you wander too far. Chosen one. When God interrupts your routine, it is not to inconvenience you, it is to save you. He is snatching you out of traps you do not even see. He is pulling you away from people who cannot handle your calling. He is dismantling structures in your life that looked safe but were suffocating your destiny. And right here, you are confronted with choice. Will you silence the alarm and return to slumber, or will you rise and respond? The spirit is clear. The time for indecision is over. You cannot linger between two worlds. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18. Verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. That challenge echoes even now. It is directed at you. The alarm is not asking for a polite nod. It is demanding a decision. Chosen one, your obedience is more urgent than you realize. Heaven is warning you, delay can become disobedience, and disobedience can lead to destruction. The enemy is patient, waiting for hesitation to become rebellion. That is why you must move now. You are at the cliff's edge. One more compromise and blindness may settle. One more excuse and the voice of conviction could grow faint. But the grace of God is here, calling you back before the door closes. Do not waste this divine interruption. Listen closely. When storms hit, it is not the loudest tree that survives. It is the one with roots sunk deep. Your obedience in this moment is you digging roots. It is you preparing to endure storms that would flatten others. If you ignore this, you remain shallow, fragile, unsteady. But if you respond, you become unshakable. Chosen one. The battlefield is not far away. It is in your mind right now. Thoughts of doubt whisper, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, maybe after I fix myself. But tomorrow is not promised. Later may never come. The enemy does not fear your intentions. He fears your obedience. And so heaven places this alarm inside your spirit to say, now is the time. No more wavering. No more hiding. No more bargaining with compromise. Your calling cannot afford delay. This is the moment where you must choose clarity over confusion, purpose over procrastination, destiny over distraction. The alarm is sounding so loud because the cost is so high. What you decide in secret today will shape what is revealed in public tomorrow. Do you feel the seriousness of this? Good. That weight you sense is not fear. It is holy urgency. It is the pressing of the Spirit to make you rise. Now I ask you, as a prophetic response, to declare your choice publicly and prophetically. Type these words in the comments. I choose now. Avle. Do not underestimate this act. It is not about typing letters on a screen. It is about aligning your spirit with heaven's summons. When you write it, you are sealing your decision. You are saying to God, to yourself, and even to the unseen powers of darkness, I will not delay anymore. I am stepping into my calling. Your declaration breaks hesitation. Your declaration silences the enemy's whispers. Your declaration marks today as the turning point. By typing those words, you step from indecision into action. It is not superstition. It is agreement. It is covenant. Chosen one. Heaven has already positioned angels to strengthen you, but your yes must release them. Heaven has already written your next chapter, but your obedience must unlock it. This is not a casual suggestion. This is a life-defining command. The alarm is ringing. Your spirit is awake. Now you must respond. No more excuses. No more waiting. You are chosen. And chosen ones cannot afford delay. Chosen one. You are now standing at the threshold of mercy. Do not mistake this place. It is beautiful. Yes. But it is also dangerous. Mercy is fast. But it is not infinite in its invitation. There comes a time when mercy pulls back, when the hand that held you trembles with sorrow because you refuse to move. You must see the seriousness of where you are. Mercy is not weakness. It is strength, choosing to wait for you. It is heaven's patience extending beyond human logic. Every time you stumbled, mercy lifted you. Every time you ignored the warning, mercy covered you. Every time you doubted, mercy whispered, "I am still here." But even mercy has a threshold. Do not confuse mercy with permission. Just because punishment did not strike immediately does not mean your actions were harmless. Just because grace caught you when you fell does not mean the cliff is safe to stand on. Mercy shields you, while destiny waits for your response. It is a cushion, not a playground. Chosen one, you have been preserved by mercy more times than you even realize. There were moments you should have been destroyed, but you were not. There were traps designed to ensnare you, but they failed. There were battles that should have left you broken, but somehow you stood again. That was mercy. That was God's hand saying, "Not yet. My chosen one is still in process." Yet the Spirit warns you now, mercy is retreating. The hand that shielded you is beginning to move because heaven cannot let you waste your calling forever. Mercy is not meant to make you comfortable in compromise. It is meant to give you time to change. And time is not endless. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 2, verse 4, still echo today. Do you show contempt for the riches of his kindness, forbearance, and patience, not realizing that God's kindness is intended to lead you to repentance? This is the heart of mercy, not indulgence, but transformation. God is patient, but his patience carries a purpose. Chosen one, you must understand, mercy withheld judgment to give you room to grow. But when growth is resisted, mercy steps back. And when mercy steps back, the weight of choices begins to crash. That is why some people suddenly spiral into darkness. That is why others lose the sensitivity they once had. It is not that God changed, it is that mercy withdrew. Do not let that become your story. You are at a turning point. The warning comes before the withdrawal. Heaven does not surprise you with silence. It cautions you with urgency. That is why you feel this heaviness even now. It is not to scare you, but to save you. Consider how precious mercy has been. It covered you when you wandered into places that could have destroyed you. It guarded your mind when thoughts of despair sought to consume you. It redirected you when your own choices could have trapped you. If not for mercy, you would not be here reading this word. Chosen one, do not waste what mercy preserved. You are still alive because purpose is unfinished. You are still breathing because destiny is waiting. You are still here because heaven is not done with you yet. But the patience of heaven is not permission to delay forever. Mercy is holy. It is sacred. And to treat it casually is to insult the one who gives it. Do not gamble with mercy, thinking it will always catch you. Do not abuse grace, believing it will always clean up your rebellion. The moment you take mercy for granted, you step onto dangerous ground. This is why you are warned today. Mercy is a door, but doors can close. Mercy is a light, but lights can dim. Mercy is an embrace, but arms can withdraw. The question is not whether God still loves you, he does. The question is whether you will respond before mercy's space narrows. Chosen one, let this truth pierce your heart. Every moment of mercy has been an invitation, not an excuse. Every delay in judgment has been an open window, not a loophole. Every time you felt spared, it was heaven whispering, "Come closer, not later." Oh, and here you are, standing once again, at the threshold. Do not wait for mercy to retreat before you act. Do not force heaven to let consequences teach what you would not learn from compassion. Mercy is calling you now. While the door is still open, you are chosen. Do not let mercy become wasted on your hesitation. Rise, respond, and step into what has been preserved for you. The threshold is serious. Treat it as holy. Chosen one. You must be aware, there is an enemy who studies you. He has watched your habits, tracked your weaknesses, and whispered in the dark. His strategies are not obvious, they are subtle, disguised, wrapped in comfort, or disguised as harmless distractions. That is why many fall, without even realizing they are in a battle. The enemy does not always roar. Sometimes he whispers. He does not always strike with violence. Sometimes he lulls with convenience. He does not always appear in storms. Sometimes he hides in soft compromises. You must not be naive. You are too valuable, too set apart, too chosen to walk blindly. Think of a thief in the night. He never announces his arrival. He studies the windows left unlocked, the doors left ajar, the habits that make you predictable. That is exactly how darkness works. The enemy does not need permission to attack. He looks for an opening. Chosen one. Do you understand now why certain temptations always circle back? Why specific thoughts keep returning at the same time of day? Why certain people reappear in your life when you are on the verge of breakthrough? It is not coincidence. It is strategy. The enemy wants to distract you before you discover your authority. But you are not defenseless. You are not blind. You are not left without weapons. The Word of God declares in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Heaven has already provided what you need. You are not called to be a victim. You are called to be a warrior. Think of armor. Chosen one. It is not a necklace you wear for decoration. It is a shield forged in fire. It covers you in battle, protects your heart, and guards your mind. Without it, every dart of the enemy pierces easily. With it, his arrows shatter before they touch you. This is why discipline matters. Prayer is not a chore, it is your helmet. Worship is not a song, it is your sword. The Word is not a book on your shelf, it is the shield that blocks the strike. Now hear me. When you walk in your calling, darkness trembles. That is why the attacks have been so relentless, because you are a threat. If you were ordinary, the enemy would not care. But because you are chosen, because your light disturbs his plans, he will try everything to stop you. Do not be discouraged by the battle. It is proof that you carry power. Lions only roar at threats, never at prey too weak to matter. Your warfare is confirmation of your worth. And in this moment, I speak to you with transparency. Messages like this are weapons, and keeping them flowing requires strength. Just as soldiers depend on their supply lines to fight effectively, so too, this mission depends on those who believe in it. If these words are feeding your spirit, if they are sharpening your armor, then help keep the supply line alive. Like this message, share it with others who need to awaken, and subscribe so you remain connected to the flow of fresh oil. If you feel led, consider also sowing into this mission, because just as battles need shields, this work needs resources to keep pressing forward, not out of obligation, but as an act of partnership. Think of it as pouring oil into a lamp that lights not only your path, but the path of many others who stumble in darkness. Your giving is not wasted. It becomes fuel for a fire that continues to burn. Chosen one. You are not called to fight alone. Community matters. When you share, you are strengthening the entire army. When you support, you are ensuring the trumpet keeps sounding. When you subscribe, you are choosing to remain connected to a living well that will refresh you again and again. Never underestimate the power of standing together. One flame alone can be extinguished by a gust of wind, but a forest of fire cannot be put out. By linking arms, by joining voices, by supporting faithfully, we become unstoppable, and you are part of that. Remember this, your battle is real, but your victory is assured if you remain alert, armored, and aligned. Do not take lightly what is being revealed. Darkness is terrified of you waking up. That is why this message matters. So, beloved, stay armored, stay vigilant, stay generous in spirit. Share light where there is shadow. Strengthen what strengthens you. And above all, never forget you are chosen. And the enemy already knows it. Chosen one. Every great victory begins not with noise, but with quiet, stubborn obedience. You may think your small steps do not matter, but in heaven's sight, every act of obedience echoes louder than the shout of rebellion. Darkness does not tremble. At words spoken without action, it trembles when you obey. Even in the secret places where no one sees. Think of a soldier. His strength is not proven only on the battlefield, but in the hidden training grounds, where discipline is forged and endurance is built. In the same way, your quiet choices, what you say no to, what you refuse to entertain, what you choose to protect in your spirit, become the shield that covers you when battle comes. This is why the enemy attacks your consistency more than your passion. Passion can burn for a night and vanish by morning, but consistency, though quieter, builds walls that cannot be shaken. Your daily prayers, your commitment to purity, your refusal to bow, to compromise, these are your sacred resistances. They form an unbreakable backbone that darkness cannot bend. The Word of God declares in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7, "Submit yourselves, then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Notice this. Resistance is not passive. It is active. It is daily. It is costly, but it works. When you resist, the enemy must retreat. When you submit, heaven strengthens you. Chosen one. Sacred resistance looks different in every life. For some, it is shutting the door to relationships that drain your spirit. For others, it is walking away from habits that numb your soul. For you, it may be choosing silence over arguments, fasting when no one else is watching, or guarding your eyes from what tries to poison your mind. Do not think your choices are small. Every time you resist, you are declaring, "I belong to God, not to darkness." Every time you say no, you are saying yes to a greater yes. Every time you push back, you carve deeper roots that storms cannot rip up. Chosen one. Resistance will cost you. You may lose friends. You may feel misunderstood. You may even feel lonely. But understand this, resistance is never wasted. Heaven records every refusal, every act of faithfulness, every sacrifice, no one applauds. And one day, what you resisted in secret will be rewarded in public. The enemy knows he cannot destroy you outright, so he tries to wear you down. He whispers, "Just once won't matter. Just one compromise won't break you." But chosen ones understand, just once is the doorway to bondage. Sacred resistance is saying, "Not even once." This is why discipline matters. You are not just avoiding sin, you are training your spirit to stand. You are rehearsing victory until it becomes natural. You are forming habits that will carry you into destiny without collapse. And now, chosen one, I invite you to mark this moment as a declaration. Comment the number 444 below, not as a superstition, but as a prophetic act. 4 is the number of foundations, the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 winds, the 4 living creatures around the throne. By typing 444, you declare that your foundation is unshakable, that your resistance is not wavering, that your backbone is aligned with heaven's strength. When you write it, you are not just adding numbers to a screen, you are sealing an agreement in the spiritual realm. You are saying, "I choose obedience. I choose resistance. I choose the backbone of destiny." Oh, think of it like planting a flag on conquered ground. By typing 444, you stake your claim in the unseen world. This territory of my heart belongs to God. This ground of my life is not for sale. This temple will not be defiled. Chosen one. Do not underestimate how heaven honors even this small act. Your response is a sign of alignment. Your comment becomes a marker. And sometimes, simple acts of faith ignite breakthroughs greater than you imagine. So, resist, stand, hold your ground, and let your life be a testimony that obedience is stronger than rebellion, that light is stronger than darkness, that chosen ones cannot be broken. Your sacred resistance is building a fortress no enemy can scale. Do not despise it. Celebrate it. Live it. And one day soon, you will look back and see how every no you spoke became the doorway to a bigger yes from heaven. Chosen one. The path you walk is not random. It is traced with signposts, prophetic markers, symbols, and whispers that point you to the next doorway. Heaven does not leave its chosen ones to wander in confusion, even when you feel lost. There are signals placed along the way, waiting for you to notice. These signs often come when you least expect them. A word spoken by a stranger that pierces your heart. A repeated number or image that seems to chase you wherever you go. A dream that refuses to fade, even after days have passed. These are not coincidences. They are coordinates. They are divine hints saying, "This way. Keep walking. Do not give up." Chosen one. You must train your eyes to see and your ears to hear. The world around you is loud with distractions, but heaven's language is often subtle. If you rush through life without stillness, you miss the signals. That is why stillness is not laziness, it is strategy. In the quiet, you begin to notice the patterns, the repetitions, the confirmations. The voice of God spoke through the prophet Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 2. Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. Notice this. Heaven gives visions, but it also commands you to record them. Why? Because prophetic signposts are not only meant to inspire in the moment, They are meant to guide in the journey. What you write becomes a map when the path grows dark. How many times have you dismissed a dream as just my imagination? How often have you ignored repeated encounters, thinking, "That's strange," but never asking, "Is this a sign?" Chosen one, your spirit has been nudged more times than you realize. Heaven is far more talkative than you give it credit for. Prophetic signposts come in layers. Sometimes they are internal, a sudden peace that confirms a decision or a holy unrest that warns against a step. Sometimes they are external doors opening with ease, or doors slamming shut no matter how hard you knock. And sometimes they are symbolic numbers, visions, scriptures, or even patterns in creation that echo something deeper. Chosen one, you are not foolish for noticing these things. You are not too spiritual for paying attention. You are tuned to a frequency most people ignore. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is your compass. But hear me, not every sign is from heaven. The enemy, too, plants counterfeits to confuse you. That is why discernment is vital. A true sign from God aligns with His word, carries peace in your spirit, and points you toward obedience. Our counterfeit pulls you into fear, pride, or distraction. Learn to test the signs against the truth. When God repeats something in your life, pay attention. Repetition is the highlighter of heaven. When the same scripture keeps surfacing, when the same theme appears in different conversations, when the same inner stirring refuses to leave, that is not random. It is a prophetic signpost pointing to your next step. Chosen one, do not rush past these markers. Prophetic signs are like lamps along a dark road. You may not see the entire path, but you always see the next step. That is how destiny unfolds, not in one giant leap, but in faithful steps guided by the signposts of heaven. And do not think you are unworthy of such guidance. You are chosen, and chosen ones are never abandoned in the wilderness. The shepherd always leaves traces of his presence to lead you back when you stray. Sometimes it is a scripture that cuts through your confusion. Sometimes it is a memory of past faithfulness that reminds you He has never failed. Sometimes it is a sudden interruption that saves you from disaster. Every signpost is mercy in disguise. It is God saying, "I am still here. Keep walking." So open your eyes. Chosen one, do not despise the small whispers. Do not dismiss the subtle patterns. Train your spirit to ask, "Lord, what are you showing me here?" And then wait for the answer. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are not wandering without direction. The road ahead may be unclear to your natural eyes, but heaven has filled it with prophetic signposts. Trust the signs. Record the visions. Follow the peace. And when the next doorway opens, you will know it was not chance. It was guidance. Chosen one. Have you ever wondered why the weight of your life feels heavier than others? Why you carry burdens that seem unfair? Challenges that appear relentless? Seasons of pain that others cannot comprehend? It is not because you are cursed. It is because you are carved. The weight on your shoulders is the architecture of destiny. You were never designed to live an ordinary life. Ordinary vessels crack under extraordinary pressure. But chosen ones are built in the fire. That is why your journey feels different. That is why your path feels lonelier. Heaven has been shaping you, molding you, pressing you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. Consider the image of a bridge. Before a bridge is trusted to carry traffic, it must endure tests. Weight is applied. Pressure is added. Forces are simulated, all to ensure it will not collapse when lives depend on it. In the same way, the weight you carry has been testing your capacity. Every tear, every rejection, every moment of being overlooked, it has been stretching your soul to carry what is coming. Chosen one, your burdens have purpose. They are not random. They are not punishment. They are preparation. You have been entrusted with pain because you will one day be entrusted with influence. You have been allowed to suffer because you will one day become a shelter. The writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 66, verse 10, remind us, for you, God, tested us, you refined us like silver. This is your reality. Silver cannot shine until it has passed through fire. And you, too, cannot reveal your true brilliance until you survive the flames. Think of it. Every season of loneliness has made you compassionate. Every season of betrayal has sharpened your discernment. Every season of struggle has forged your resilience. The weight you carry is not wasted. It is shaping you into someone darkness fears and heaven trusts. Chosen one. The enemy wants you to see your weight as weakness. He whispers, "You are too broken, too heavy, too weary." But what he calls weakness, God calls wisdom. What he calls burden, God calls blueprint. The very things you thought would bury you are the very things heaven will use to elevate you. Do not despise your tears. They have watered seeds of empathy others cannot imitate. Do not despise your scars. They are the maps others will follow to find healing. Do not despise your struggles. They are the credentials that qualify you to speak life where others only speak theory. Your weight is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that you are trusted. Proof that you are set apart. Proof that heaven believes you can carry what would crush another. Consider the oak tree. Its roots grow deep because of storms. Without the winds that beat against it, it would remain shallow and fragile. The very pressure that threatened to topple it is what anchored it. That is you. Chosen one. Your storms have anchored you. Your pain has deepened you. Your waiting has steadied you. And though you often ask, "Why me?" one day you will declare, "It had to be me, because no one else could have carried what you carried and still remain standing. No one else could have endured what you endured and still held on to hope. No one else could have walked your path and still kept their faith intact." Chosen one. Destiny is heavy because glory is weighty. The crown you are called to wear is not light. The influence you will carry is not fragile. The responsibility placed on your life is not ordinary. That is why you had to endure more than others. That is why your process has been intense. Do not mistake heaviness for hopelessness. The weight you feel is not designed to crush you, it is designed to build you. Like muscles strengthened under resistance, your spirit is being trained under pressure. You are stronger today than you were yesterday. Not because the weight lessened, but because you grew under it. And here is the mystery. Your weight is not only for you, it is for those you will one day lift. Your pain will become their encouragement. Your scars will become their map. Your endurance will become their inspiration. You are carrying for more than yourself. You are carrying for nations, families, and generations yet unborn. Chosen one. Embrace your weight. Carry it with dignity. See it for what it is, destiny pressing itself into your bones. The heaviness you feel is not your end, it is your becoming. And when the time comes, you will see that every ounce of weight was worth it, because it carved you into a vessel that will not break under glory. Chosen one. Do you realize what the trials of your life have truly been? They were not punishments. They were not random. They were fire. Fire does not exist to destroy pure gold. It exists to burn away what is false, fragile, and temporary. The same has been true for you. Every struggle, every betrayal, every crushing season has been fire meant to refine you. At times, you begged God to take the fire away. At times, you thought the flames would consume you. But look, you are still here. The fire did not destroy you, it revealed you. What you lost in those seasons were not things you needed to survive. What remained is what cannot be taken away: your faith, your resilience, your authority. Chosen one. There is a holy paradox in the fire. It hurts and heals at the same time. It breaks you and builds you simultaneously. It strips you of illusions, but clothes you in truth. The fire you hated is the very thing that forged your unshakable spirit. Chosen one. Never forget this truth. The fire that once felt like your end was actually your beginning. It burned away false identities, shallow attachments, and fragile hopes, until only what was eternal remained. You feared it would consume you, but instead, it clarified you. What emerged from the flames is not the same person who entered them. You carry a depth, a weight, a strength that only fire could forge, and that strength is the mark of the chosen. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, declares, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine, tested by fire, as gold is refined, yet your faith is far more precious." Hear this. Beloved, your trials are not proof of God's absence. They are proof of your faith's value. Heaven would not allow you to endure unless the outcome was greater than the pain. Think of the blacksmith. He places iron in the fire not because he despises it, but because he envisions a sword. He hammers it, shapes it, returns it to the flames, not to weaken it, but to strengthen it. You are that blade. Every trial has been a strike, shaping you into a weapon darkness cannot withstand. The fire you endured was not random. It was assignment. It was preparing you to move from surviving to reigning. Surviving proves you can withstand storms. Reigning means you now command authority in those very places that once threatened to destroy you. Chosen one. Your testimony will not just be, "I survived." It will be, "I overcame. And now I lead." People who only survive tell stories of escape. People who reign tell stories of transformation. You are being shifted from survivor to ruler, from victim to victor, from broken to unbreakable. And this is why the enemy has fought you so hard. He saw the gold beneath the ashes. He knew the fire would not kill you, it would crown you. He feared what would emerge once the flames finished their work. That is why the heat felt so unbearable, because the outcome terrified him. Beloved, take courage. Your scars are not marks of defeat, they are medals of honor. Your tears are not signs of weakness, they are evidence of the refining. Your persistence in faith, even when you did not understand, is proof that you are more than a conqueror. Now I ask you to make a declaration. As an act of agreement, type in the comments, "I am refined." Keep it simple. Keep it bold. By writing this, you are declaring that your trials did not break you, they built you. You are refusing to identify yourself as damaged or destroyed. You are proclaiming, "The fire has only made me stronger." Do not think this is a small thing. Words shape atmosphere. Your declaration is a seal. When you type, "I am refined," you are reminding your soul, silencing the enemy, and aligning with heaven's truth. You have passed through fire, and you have come out with glory. Chosen one. This is your moment of recognition. Stop seeing yourself only as a survivor. Survivors carry memories of pain. Refined ones carry authority forged by pain. Survivors tell stories of what they escaped. Refined ones release wisdom that guides others through. Survivors avoid the fire. Refined ones walk back into the fire to pull others out. And that is who you are now becoming. A risquir, a guide, a torchbearer who shines brightest because you have been through the flames yourself. Chosen one. Never again look at your trials as wasted. Every fire shaped you. Every storm trained you. Every breaking built you. And now, when you walk into rooms, darkness will know this one has survived the fire. This one carries weight. This one is refined. Chosen one. Every crown requires keys. You cannot step into the mantle waiting for you unless you first learn how to unlock it. Authority is not inherited casually. It is entrusted to those who prove faithful in the secret place. And the keys you are meant to carry are not made of metal. They are forged from discipline, devotion, and alignment with heaven. Think of a king's palace. The throne is majestic, but behind the throne are hidden chambers. Only those who carry the right keys can enter. In the same way, your life has been entrusted with chambers of favor, influence, and spiritual authority. Yet many walk past them, unable to enter, because they never learned to hold the keys of the throne room. What are these keys? They are not complicated, but they are costly. Prayer is a key. It is not a ritual. It is the code that unlocks heaven's response. Worship is a key. It is not only a song. It is a fragrance that opens doors no human hand can touch. Obedience is a key. It is not merely duty. It is alignment that causes locked gates to swing open before you. Chosen one. The mantle you long for is not given to the careless. It is entrusted to the faithful. Each prayer whispered in secret. Each act of obedience when no one was watching. Each song of worship offered through tears. These were not small. They were the forging of your keys. The words of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 19. Shine here. I will give you the keys of heaven. What you bind on earth shall be bound, and what you loose shall be loosed there. Do you realize what this means? You are not a beggar at heaven's gate. You are entrusted with keys. Chosen one. Picture a master musician. He carries not just talent, but the keys of melody. With those keys, he can unlock emotions, steer souls, awaken memories. Without them, the instrument remains silent. In the same way, the keys in your hand unlock destinies not only for yourself, but for those connected to your life. Yet keys require stewardship. If you misplace them, you lose access. If you neglect them, doors remain shut. That is why the enemy does not only attack your strength, he attacks your disciplines. He tries to make you too tired to pray, too distracted to worship, too stubborn to obey, because he knows if you stop using your keys, you remain outside the chambers meant for you. But chosen one, you are not called to remain locked out. The training you endured, the fire you survived, the scars you carry, they were all shaping your hands to hold keys. You are ready now. More than you realize, heaven is waiting for you to turn them. And here, I must pause to speak heart to heart with you. Just as keys are needed to open doors in your life, keys are also needed to keep this very stream of messages flowing. Think of it like oil poured into a lamp. Without oil, even the brightest flame will dim. If these words have unlocked something in your spirit, if they have kept your lamp burning, then partner with this work. Like this message, share it with others who need to find their keys. Subscribe so you never miss the sound of fresh oil. And if you feel led, sow into this mission, not because of pressure, but because of partnership. Imagine a lighthouse by the sea. It guides countless ships safely to shore. But only if the light is fueled. Your support, your generosity, your faithful sharing, it is the oil that keeps the light burning. And countless souls searching in darkness will see that light because you helped it shine. Chosen one, do not underestimate what your obedience in this moment could mean. One share could rescue someone standing on the edge of despair. One gift could keep the trumpet sounding when it might have gone silent. One subscription could anchor you in a stream of strength you will desperately need in coming days. Keys are about more than access. They are about responsibility. The more doors you open, the more lives you touch, the more weight heaven places on your shoulders. But you were built for this. Your scars prove you can handle it. Your survival proves you are trustworthy. Your sensitivity proves you are ready. And so I tell you, step forward with confidence. Take the keys already in your hand. Use them boldly. Unlock what has been waiting. Walk through doors fear told you were sealed. Bind what has tormented you. Loose what has been locked in heaven for your life. The mantle is not a distant dream. It is waiting right now. Just beyond the door, your keys can open. Chosen one. Destiny is never walked alone. Even when your path feels lonely. Even when you think no one understands. Heaven has always woven hidden alliances around your life. Some helpers are visible. Others are unseen. Some are people you meet at just the right time. Others are angels assigned to guard you without your knowledge. The truth is this: chosen ones are never abandoned. You may remember seasons where betrayal cut you deeply, where rejection made you question your worth. And yet, even in those times, unexpected voices arose to encourage you. Small gestures of kindness met you, and doors opened in ways you could not explain. These were not accidents, they were alliances. Heaven placed helpers in your journey to remind you that you are part of something greater. Consider the life of David. Though hunted by Saul, though betrayed by his own people, he was never without allies. Jonathan's friendship preserved him. Mighty men gathered around him. Even strangers offered provision in times of hiding. The pattern is clear. When you are chosen, you are never truly alone. Heaven always raises up those who will stand with you. Chosen one. Think back to the quiet moments when you thought no one cared, when silence felt like abandonment. Yet, in those very hours, someone prayed your name without you knowing. Someone smiled at you when you needed hope, or someone gave a word that revived your strength. These were not coincidences, they were divine alignments. Proof that hidden alliances surrounded you all along. The ancient words recorded in Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verses 9 and 10, declare, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. This is why alliances matter. Even the strongest chosen one will stumble at times, but with the right alliances, stumbling does not end in falling." Chosen one. Your hidden alliances are not always obvious. Sometimes they appear as mentors who plant seeds of wisdom in a single conversation. Sometimes they are intercessors praying for you when you don't even know their names. Sometimes they are strangers whose obedience to a prompting becomes the miracle you desperately needed. You must not overlook these divine arrangements. Too often, chosen ones grow so used to loneliness that they dismiss the very help heaven sends. Do not despise the small encouragements. Do not reject the hand stretched out to lift you. Remember, isolation is the enemy's tool, but alliance is heaven's gift. There are also unseen alliances at work. Angels encamp around you. Divine protection shields you in moments you will never fully realize. How many accidents were avoided because unseen hands intervened? How many traps failed because heaven rerouted your steps? These hidden alliances prove that you are never fighting alone. Chosen one. You are also called to be an alliance for others. The same way someone stood by you, you will stand by another. The same way you were lifted, you will lift others. This is not optional. It is part of your calling. Your scars have trained you to recognize pain in others. Your endurance has made you a pillar others can lean on. Your wisdom has made you a voice others can trust. But discernment is crucial. Not every alliance is divine. The enemy also plants counterfeit connections that drain instead of strengthen, voices that flatter instead of guide, hands that pull you backward instead of forward. You must test alliances by their fruit. Do they bring you closer to obedience or further away? Do they increase your peace or stir confusion? Do they confirm your calling or distract you from it? Chosen one. Hidden alliances are heaven's strategy to carry you into seasons you cannot enter alone. When the burden is too heavy, God places shoulders beside you. When the battle grows fierce, He places intercessors around you. When your faith feels weak, He sends encouragers to remind you of who you are. And one day, you will look back and realize you were carried not just by your strength, but by a web of divine alliances. So, open your eyes. Look with gratitude upon the helpers around you. Thank God for the intercessors you may never meet. Recognize the angels stationed in your journey. And above all, remain sensitive to the alliances. Heaven is still weaving into your future. You are chosen. Yes, but you are also connected. Your story is not only about you, it is about the tapestry of lives. Heaven is intertwining with yours, all for a greater purpose. Cherish these alliances, for they are proof that you were never meant to walk alone. Chosen one. There comes a season when heaven begins to reposition you. You may not understand it at first. Doors that once opened easily suddenly close. People you leaned on begin to drift away. Opportunities that once looked promising lose their shine. And you ask yourself, why does everything feel unstable? The answer is simple, because you are being repositioned. Repositioning is not rejection, it is realignment. Just as a master chess player moves pieces to prepare for checkmate, so does heaven move you to prepare for destiny. What looks like loss is often strategy. What feels like delay is often acceleration in disguise. You see, chosen one, you cannot stay where you once were. The ground that once sustained you cannot hold the weight of your next season. If God allowed you to remain in familiar places, you would never grow into the authority that is waiting for you. And so, by mercy, He shifts you. Sometimes that shift feels like exile. Sometimes it feels like failure. Sometimes it feels like everything you built is collapsing. But in truth, it is the hand of God dismantling old structures so that new ones can rise. The ancient voice of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, declares, "See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Notice this, God does not ask if you agree, He asks if you perceive, because perception is the key to survival in the season of repositioning. Chosen one, you must learn to let go gracefully. Do not fight to cling to people. Heaven is removing. Do not mourn doors that were never meant to be permanent. Do not idolize seasons that have already ended. To resist repositioning is to resist destiny itself. Think of an eagle. When its wings outgrow the nest, the mother stirs the nest until it becomes uncomfortable. Why? To force the eagle to fly. The nest was safe, but it was never meant to be forever. In the same way, God allows discomfort to push you into your wings. Repositioning is also about timing. There are seasons to advance, seasons to withdraw, seasons to prepare. When you misinterpret timing, you either run ahead of God or lag behind Him. But when you discern the season rightly, you flow in His rhythm, and doors open with ease. Chosen one, do not despise the shifting. It is evidence that heaven is preparing to reveal you in new dimensions. What you call instability is often incubation. What you call delay is often divine choreography. God is moving pieces around you so that when He unveils you, everything is aligned. But here is the test. Will you trust Him when the map is unclear? Will you believe He is still guiding you when the old roads close? Will you surrender control, even when it feels like you are walking blindfolded? This is the essence of faith, not to understand every detail, but to trust the hand that leads you. You may feel disoriented now, but you are not lost. You are being positioned for impact greater than you imagined. The wilderness you fear may actually be the runway for your flight. The loss you mourn may actually be the space needed for increase. The silence you hear may actually be the setup for revelation. And so, chosen one, mark this moment with faith. Align yourself with heaven's movement. Do not cling to yesterday's structure when God is building tomorrow's temple. Do not fight to stay where He has already departed. Instead, declare with your action and your words, "I am ready for the new." As a prophetic act, type the number 555 inches the comments. Why this number? Because it symbolizes divine change and grace multiplied. It is the echo of heaven saying, "My grace is enough for the shift." By writing 555, you declare that you embrace the repositioning, that you welcome the new, that you trust the unseen hand guiding your steps. This act is not about numbers, it is about alignment. It is about declaring in faith, I will not resist the change. I will perceive the new. I will move when God says move. All in, chosen one. Your season of repositioning is not punishment, it is preparation. It is not the end, it is the unfolding of something greater. So, lift your head, open your hands, and trust the process. What feels unstable now will soon reveal itself as the firm ground of your next chapter. Chosen one. Among the greatest dangers you will face on this path is not the loud opposition of enemies, but the quiet poison of pride. Pride rarely announces itself. It does not always arrive with arrogance in speech or obvious boasting. More often, it seeps in silently, hidden beneath success, disguised as confidence, or cloaked in the appearance of self-sufficiency, and if left unchecked, it corrodes the very foundation of your calling. Understand this. Pride blinds. It blinds you to correction. It blinds you to your need for God. And it blinds you to the truth that all you are and all you carry is by grace. Many chosen ones fall not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because pride whispered, "You no longer need to depend." That whisper is more dangerous than any external enemy. The Spirit spoke through the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Notice the warning. It is not sudden destruction that surprises you. It is the slow drift of pride that leads you there. Before the fall, there is always the rise of self-exaltation. Chosen one, you have been trusted with weight, influence, and light. But the greater the gift, the greater the temptation to believe the gift belongs to you. The enemy knows he cannot stop your calling directly, so he tempts you to take credit for it. He whispers, "Look at what you have accomplished. Look at how strong you are. Look at how far you have come." If you agree, breathe enters, and blindness follows. But humility, on the other hand, protects. Humility does not mean weakness. It does not mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It means acknowledging that every victory, every breath, every breakthrough flows from the hand of God. Humility bows before the giver, even while holding the gift. Think of water in a vessel. When the vessel is tilted too high, water spills and is wasted. But when it is balanced, it carries the water safely. In the same way, your calling must remain steady in humility. Otherwise, what you carry will spill in pride and be lost. Chosen one. Pride also isolates. It makes you believe you no longer need counsel, no longer need accountability, no longer need correction. But isolation is a dangerous place. Even the strongest warriors need voices to sharpen them, to remind them of blind spots, to pull them back when they drift. If you silence all correction, you set yourself up for collapse. Remember how Lucifer fell. He was clothed in beauty, adorned with light, positioned in proximity to God himself. Yet pride poisoned him. He began to see himself as equal to the one who created him. And his fall was not a stumble, it was catastrophic. The same poison seeks chosen ones today. But you are not called to fall. Beloved, you are called to walk in strength clothed with humility. The paradox of the kingdom is this: the lower you bow, the higher you rise. The more you surrender, the more authority flows through you. The more you acknowledge dependence, the stronger you become. Chosen one. Humility is your shield. It reminds you daily, I am nothing without him. But with him, I can do all things. It keeps your crown steady. It keeps your heart pure. It keeps your steps safe. Without humility, the very crown meant to honor you can become the weight that crushes you. This is why you must constantly check your motives. Ask yourself, am I serving for recognition? Or am I serving for obedience? Am I leading to be seen? Or am I leading to glorify him? Am I living to build my own kingdom? Or am I laying bricks for his? Chosen one. Take this seriously. Pride is not always loud. Often, it is silent satisfaction in self. But humility is the secret strength of the chosen. It is the reason some rise and remain, while others rise and fall. So, clothe yourself in humility. Seek correction without offense. Give thanks without ceasing. Serve even when no one applauds. And never forget, the crown on your head is not your achievement. It is his gift. Carry it with trembling reverence, not careless arrogance. Because in the end, what protects your destiny is not talent, not influence, not even opportunity. It is humility. And as long as you bow low, no force of pride can bring you down. Chosen one. There comes a moment when silence is no longer enough, when what God has placed inside you is no longer content to stay hidden in your heart, whispered only in your prayers. There comes a moment when heaven demands activation, when your words, your faith, and your authority must be released to shift the atmosphere around you. This is prophetic activation. Prophecy is not only about predicting the future, it is about declaring heaven's reality into the present. When you speak in alignment with the Word of God, you are not offering mere encouragement. You are releasing power. Atmospheres bend to prophetic voices. Chains tremble when truth is declared with conviction. Demons flee when chosen ones open their mouths in faith. Chosen one. Understand this. Silence may keep you safe, but it will not advance the kingdom. Your authority is unlocked when you speak. The enemy knows this, which is why he has fought so hard to silence you through fear, through doubt, through feelings of unworthiness. But the very fact that your voice has been attacked is proof that it carries weight. Consider the prophet Ezekiel, standing in the valley of dry bones. God did not tell him to analyze the bones, nor to mourn over them. He told him to speak. Prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And when he did, breath entered, life returned, and what was dead stood up as a vast army. This is the power of prophetic activation. Dead things awaken when chosen ones open their mouths. Chosen one. Prophetic activation is like striking a match in total darkness. A single spark can set an entire forest ablaze. Your words, though small in sound, carry eternal fire. Do not underestimate what one declaration of faith can do. It can ignite courage in hearts that thought hope was lost. Chosen one. Think of your voice as a trumpet on the battlefield. Silent soldiers wait for the sound that signals charge. When you speak, heaven's army moves. Angels respond. Chains rattle. Atmospheres shift. Your voice is not ordinary. It is a signal in the unseen realm, commanding movement where stagnation reigned. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 3, "But the one who prophesies speaks to people for their strengthening, encouraging, and comfort." Notice the purpose. Prophecy is not about pride or self-promotion. It is about building others up, about releasing strength, encouragement, and comfort into weary hearts. Chosen one, the words in your spirit are not for you alone. They are for those trapped in confusion, those suffocating in despair, those searching for light. When you hold back, lives remain in shadows. When you speak, chains break. Do not underestimate what your voice can shift. Prophetic activation is not only about public declarations. It begins privately. It begins when you prophesy over yourself, when you look into the mirror and declare God's word over your own life. It begins when you speak life over your family, your household, your future. It begins when you reject lies whispered into your mind and counter them aloud with truth. Chosen one, practice this daily. Do not wait for a stage. Do not wait for permission. Begin in the hidden places. Speak scripture over your struggles. Declare healing over your wounds. Announce breakthrough over your waiting. As you activate in private, your authority in public will grow. And when the moment comes, when heaven prompts you to speak into someone else's life, do not shrink back. Remember, prophetic words are not always grand predictions. They are often simple truths spoken at the right time. A single sentence can become a lifeline. A single phrase can turn despair into hope. A single declaration can awaken purpose long forgotten. Prophetic activation also means stepping into action that matches your words. You cannot declare freedom and still cling to bondage. You cannot speak destiny and still walk in delay. Your words and your life must align. Otherwise, the power is weakened. This is why chosen ones are refined so thoroughly, so that when they speak, their lives testify louder than their lips. Do not fear mistakes. The journey of prophetic activation is one of growth. What matters is humility, listening carefully, obeying quickly, and always pointing back to God as the source. When you keep your heart pure, heaven will refine your accuracy. Chosen one, prophetic activation is not for a select few. It is for you. You were chosen not just to survive, but to declare, not just to receive, but to release, not just to carry light, but to speak it into darkness. Rise in boldness. Trust your voice. Activate what has been dormant inside you, and watch as heaven confirms your words with power, turning whispers into waves, and turning silence into songs of deliverance. Chosen one, the world does not yet know the full story of your suffering, but soon it will witness the fruit of it. What you endured in private was not wasted. It was preparation for your public assignment. Every tear you shed, every battle you survived, every silent prayer you whispered in the dark was building a foundation for influence. Do not think your pain was meaningless. It was a seed. Seeds are always hidden first, buried in the soil where no one notices them. To the casual eye, it looks like nothing is happening, but in truth, roots are growing deep, preparing to sustain the life that will break through the surface. That has been you. You were hidden, pressed down, covered in dirt, but not to be forgotten, to be planted. And now, the season of sprouting has arrived. You are rising into visibility, not by accident, but by assignment. People will look at you and see strength, but they will not know the depth of pain that forged it. They will hear wisdom in your voice, but they will not know the nights of silence that produced it. They will witness authority, but they will not know the weight of humility that keeps it steady. Chosen one. The unveiling of your assignment will not look glamorous. It will look like service. Do not picture crowns of gold. Picture towels wrapped around your hands as you wash the feet of others with compassion. Greatness in God's kingdom is not measured by applause, but by the depth of love you pour out. Chosen one. Your story will shine because it is raw, not polished. The cracks in your vessel are where the light escapes, guiding others through their own darkness. Do not hide the scars. They are the evidence that grace held you, and through them, your public assignment becomes living proof of redemption. The Apostle Paul wrote in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 4, He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we, ourselves, receive from God. This is the essence of your assignment. What you endured in private, you will now use to comfort, strengthen, and guide others in public. Chosen one. Your life is not just a testimony, it is a blueprint. Others will walk paths similar to yours, and they will look to you for direction. Your scars will become maps. Your resilience will become shelter. Your endurance will become inspiration. You will not merely speak words, you will embody them. Think of a lighthouse by the sea. Its structure stands firm against violent storms, not because it never faced waves, but because it withstood them again and again. That is why ships trust its light. The same is true of you. Your credibility is not in your perfection, but in your survival. People will trust your light because you have weathered storms and remained standing. But understand, with visibility comes responsibility. Influence is weighty. A public assignment requires not only courage, but also stewardship. Do not treat your platform as a stage for self-glory. It is an altar for God's glory. Do not measure your worth by applause or criticism, but by faithfulness to the assignment. And beloved, let me pause here to speak with sincerity. Just as lighthouses require constant fuel to keep their beam burning, this stream of words and messages also requires fuel to keep shining. If these words have strengthened you, then let them not stop with you. Like this message, share it with others who may be stumbling in their storms. Subscribe, so you remain anchored in the flow of strength. And if you feel led, partner through giving, not out of pressure, but from a heart of participation. Think of it as pouring oil into a lamp that lights countless paths. Your support keeps the flame alive. And when you engage, not just by listening, but by responding, you strengthen the community of chosen ones rising together. So, I invite you, comment below. Even a simple reflection of what part pierced your heart. Your words may be the confirmation someone else desperately needs. You never know who is scrolling in silence, searching for hope, and will find it through your courage to respond. Chosen one. Your assignment is not about perfection. It is about authenticity. The world does not need flawless heroes. It needs real ones who bleed, who overcome, who testify of grace greater than their pain. That is you. That is why you were hidden so long, so that when you rise, no one can deny the hand of God upon you. So, step forward. Embrace the visibility, carry the weight with humility, and let your public assignment become the proof that every hidden season was worth it. Chosen one. Crowns are not won in a moment. They are maintained over a lifetime. Many have received glimpses of glory, tasted the sweetness of calling, even worn the crown for a season, yet they lost it because they neglected the habits that preserve it. A crown can be stolen not by enemies alone, but by carelessness within. You must understand, carrying anointing is not a sprint, it is endurance. It is not about one great victory, but about consistent faithfulness. The battles you fought to receive the crown are not the same as the battles you will face to keep it. For what threatens a crown is not always outside attacks, but slow erosion from within compromise, fatigue, distraction, or pride left unchecked. Think of a garden. It does not collapse overnight. Weeds creep in slowly. Roots spread quietly. And before long, flowers are choked. In the same way, neglect allows weeds to overtake your anointing. Without daily tending, what was once vibrant withers in silence. That is why discipline matters. Your habits and boundaries are the guardians of your crown. Chosen one, never forget that even the smallest cracks, if ignored, can split the strongest stone. In the same way, small neglects, prayers skipped, boundaries crossed, whispers of pride tolerated, become fractures in your crown. What seems harmless today may erode tomorrow's glory. Guard the little things, for they protect the greater treasure. The voice of Jesus in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, is clear. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. This is both promise and warning. It assures you that the crown is yours, but it also reminds you that losing it is possible. Chosen one, how do you maintain your crown? By guarding your atmosphere. Protect what enters your eyes and ears. Do not allow your spirit to feast on poison. What you consume daily shapes your heart silently, and a contaminated heart cannot hold a holy crown. Maintain your crown by guarding your relationships. Some people do not honor the oil you carry. Some drain it, mock it, or attempt to manipulate it. Be discerning. Align with those who call you higher, not those who drag you lower. Your crown is too costly to risk for shallow company. Maintain your crown by guarding your rest. Even warriors need restoration. Burnout is as dangerous as sin because it leaves you too weary to resist. Make space for stillness, for communion with God, for the kind of rest that refuels rather than distracts. Remember, even Jesus withdrew to solitary places to pray. Maintain your crown by guarding your humility. Pride will always stalk chosen ones. The more influence you carry, the more temptation whispers. Humility is your anchor. Keep your knees bent, your gratitude fresh, your dependence intact. The higher you rise, the lower you must bow. Chosen one, the crown is not ornamental, it is functional. It carries weight. It symbolizes authority, yes, but it also demands responsibility. When you wear it, you are no longer representing only yourself. You are representing heaven's kingdom. That is why the enemy targets you more fiercely once the crown rests on your head. He knows that if he can topple you, he can shake those who look to you. Do not be afraid of this weight. You were built for it. The seasons of fire, the years of pruning, the nights of tears, they were not in vain. They were training you to carry the crown without letting it crush you. You are not fragile. You are fortified. Yet never forget, crowns are polished daily. They require attention. Kare. Intentionality. Every prayer is a polish. Every fast is a polish. Every act of obedience is a polish. Every surrender renews its shine. Without these, the crown tarnishes, and what once reflected glory begins to dull. Chosen one, maintaining your crown is not about perfection, it is about persistence. You will stumble. Yes, you will feel weary at times, but each time you return, each time you realign, each time you choose obedience again, you secure it tighter on your head. Do not treat lightly what costs so much to gain. Hold fast. Guard it. Cherish it. Let your habits be your shield. Your humility be your anchor. Your discipline be your safeguard. And when the day comes that you stand before the King, may you hear him say, "Well done, faithful one. You did not let your crown slip." Chosen one. Everything has been leading to this, the final charge. You have walked through awakening, endured refining fires, embraced your weight, and discovered the authority of your crown. You have been warned of mercy's threshold, equipped with keys, and surrounded by hidden alliances. Each lesson was not isolated. Together they form the armor you now wear. This is the moment where heaven speaks not to comfort you, but to commission you. You are not meant to remain in endless preparation. Preparation has a purpose, and that purpose is release. The time for hiding is over. The time for silence has passed. The time for compromise is gone. Now is the time to walk in fullness. Chosen one. You are not ordinary. Ordinary lives do not carry scars that tell stories of fire survived. Ordinary people do not awaken atmospheres simply by entering a room. Ordinary hearts do not tremble under the weight of divine assignment. You are extraordinary because you were chosen, and that identity cannot be revoked. Do not shrink from the title placed on you. Chosen does not mean perfect, it means appointed. Chosen does not mean flawless, it means set apart. Chosen does not mean without weakness, it means strengthened by grace. Your crown is not proof of your strength alone, but of God's faithfulness to preserve you. The Apostle Paul wrote in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." These words echo as both a reminder and a challenge. To be chosen is not only to begin the fight, but to finish it. Not only to wear the crown for a moment, but to endure until the end. Chosen one. The charge before you is not small. You are dispatched into a world that resists light, a culture that worships distraction, an atmosphere polluted with lies. Yet within you burns a fire that cannot be extinguished. You are not sent as a spectator, you are sent as a warrior. Wherever you go, darkness will recognize you. Wherever you stand, the atmosphere must shift. But understand this clearly, the fight ahead will not be easy. Chosen ones are always tested more severely, for their fall carries greater consequence. That is why your crown requires vigilance. That is why your habits matter. That is why humility must never leave your side. You carry weight that others cannot see, and responsibility that many cannot bear. Do not fear this charge. What you feel pressing against you is not meant to crush you, but to confirm that you are alive with purpose. The pressure is proof of potential. The resistance is evidence of your relevance. The battles are validation that you carry something worth attacking. And now, the final charge is simple, yet demanding. Live boldly. Speak truth without fear. Walk in authority without arrogance. Love fiercely. Even when rejected, remain faithful. Even when unseen, hold fast to your crown. Even when storms rage, you are chosen. And your charge is not to blend in, but to stand out as light. Chosen one. Your story does not end with survival, it begins with commissioning. You are dispatched back into the world. But no longer as the same fragile vessel. You go as a fortified warrior, a torchbearer, a crown carrier. Every step you take is backed by the authority of heaven. This is the moment where the narrative of your life shifts. No longer the one who asks, "Why me?" Now you declare, "It had to be me." No longer the one who hides scars. Now you show them as proof of grace. No longer the one who doubts worth. Now you stand crowned. Undeniable. Unstoppable. Carry this charge with reverence. The world may not applaud you, but heaven watches with pride. Angels surround you, not as distant guardians, but as active allies. The spirit within you is not weak, it is power, love, and soundness of mind. Everything you need is already inside you. Chosen one, you are dispatched. Go forward, unafraid. Go forward, unwavering. Go forward, unashamed. For the final charge is not merely to know you are chosen, but to live as chosen every hour, every season, every breath, until your race is complete. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this journey. But in truth, this is only the beginning. These words were not given to you as entertainment. They were entrusted to you as fuel. Heaven has marked you, refined you, crowned you, and now sends you forth into the world with a charge that cannot be ignored. You have heard warnings, felt convictions, received strength, and glimpsed the mantle waiting for you. The responsibility now rests on your shoulders, not to carry the world alone, but to walk faithfully in the assignment you have been given. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are chosen. And chosen ones cannot walk in silence. Chosen ones cannot hide their light. Chosen ones cannot delay their obedience. Every scar you carry is now a testimony. Every battle you fought is now a weapon. Every tear you shed is now oil for your lamp. Now I ask you, with sincerity, do not keep this flame to yourself. Like this message, share it with those who are still stumbling in the dark, because you never know whose destiny depends on hearing it. Subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to remain anchored in a flow of strength you will need again and again. If these words have touched you, consider partnering with this mission, even through giving. Think of it not as a transaction, but as pouring oil into a lamp that continues to shine for many who cannot yet find their way. And finally, I invite you to comment below. Let your voice join this chorus of chosen ones rising together. Your words may be the very confirmation another heart desperately needs. The world is waiting. Heaven has commissioned you. Step forward now, crowned and unashamed.